Good morning, children. Chapter 15, Probability. It will probably rain today. I doubt that he will pass this test. Most probably, Kavita will stand first in the annual examination. Chances are high that the prices of diesel will go up. There is a 50-50 chance of India winning a toss in today's match. In everyday's life situations, you have came across this type of the words. See, if you observe the statements, you can see that probably, doubt, most probably, chance, and chance, like that. This uncertainty is there. What is the meaning of this words? It shows that it may or may not can happen. It may or may not happen that day. That means rain may be there or may not be there. They may pass the test, he may pass the test, he may not. Then Kavita will stand first in the annual examination. Maybe she is first, or she can be second also, or any other result also. Chances are high that prices of diesel will go up. Maybe today it may not be, maybe tomorrow it may be true. There is a 50-50 chance of India winning a toss today's match also. Like that statements, if we came across, what is this shows that? Shows that a type of uncertainty. The uncertainty of probably, etc. This uncertainty or probability are measured in mathematics in terms of probability. This uncertainty of probability, etc., can be measured numerically by means of the number. It can be measured in terms of probability in mathematics. Mathematics probability is using in such situations only. How many types of the approaches are there for probability? Experimental or empirical or observed frequency approach, classical approach, and axiomatic approach. Experimental probability, that is only we are going to learn this year. We already started learning probability in the lower classes. There you have studied that some type of the situations it is sure to happen. Some type of the situation is impossible to happen. But some situations are may or may not happen. See, the sun rises in the east. That everybody knows that in the east only sun is going to rise. It's a sure event. Tomorrow our age will decrease. It is not possible. Day by day our age is increasing only. So these type of the events you already came across, but at the same time there are some events where we are unable to predict it is going to happen or not to happen. We are unsure about that. That type of the events only we are learning about probability. In particularly this class 9th, we are going to learn probability through experimental or empirical way. That is through the experiments. Through the experiments we are making the probability. Experimental or empirical probability. Before learning this experimental or empirical probability, we must know what are the certain terms related to this. Random experiment. I'll read the statement. If an experiment repeated under identical condition, do not produce the same outcome every time. But the outcome in a trial is one of the several possible outcomes, then it is known as random experiment. That means you must know what is a random experiment. We already know that before going to start a cricket match, or they will toss a coin only. Before tossing the coin itself, we are going to know that either head or tail we are going to get. But we are not sure about we get head only or we get tail only. That in that way we cannot say either or. That is the way we are going to say. So tossing a coin is a random experiment, because before tossing the coin, we are knowing the outcomes, either head or tail only, but we are not sure about which we are going to get. That depending upon the luck only we will say. So tossing a coin is an example of random experiment. Now what we are expecting there, either head or tail. So tossing a coin is an example for random experiment. Now rolling an unbiased die. That is a die. If you are rolling a die or throwing a die also, we can say we are expecting the outcomes either 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. While snake and ladder game, if you are playing, we are using this type of the die only. In that 6 phases are there, all the 6 phases it is marked as 1, 2, 3 up to 6 only. So while throwing a die, you know that either we are going to get a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, 5, 6. If we are repeating the experiment under the same conditions, what will happen? Sometimes we may get 1, sometimes we are going to get a 2, sometimes we are going to get a 3, like that. So such type of the experiments only we are calling it as a random experiment. So mainly tossing a coin, rolling a die, or taking a card that is from a deck of cards, that is all are considered as a random experiment only. So while playing the cards also, we know that it is A to K only, the name of the cards are there, but designs are different, but we know all the names of the cards, so one of the card only we are going to get, like that. Experiments are called random experiment. Trial is the next word. A trial is an action which results in one or several outcomes. Trial is an action which results in one or several outcomes. It is nothing. It is nothing else. Our experiment trial only. If a coin is tossed 5 times, then each throw is a trial. So how many times we want, we can conduct the experiment. Each time we are conducting a trial only. So the word trial is very familiar to you now. A trial is an action which results in one or more several outcomes. So tossing a coin 5 times, if you are doing, each one is a trial, we are calling. An event for an experiment is the collection of the sum outcomes of the experiment. So what is the event means? We are telling that when a coin is tossed, we are going to get either head or tail. So event means getting a head also we can say, or getting a tail also we can say, or getting both head and tail we can say. Like that we are defining something that is called an event. It may be collection of some outcomes. It can be one outcome, it can be more than outcome, it can be all the outcomes also. So while throwing a die, what will happen, sir? You may be getting 1, 2 single way you can calculate, or getting an odd number we can say. These all are called events only. So what is the meaning of event? An event for an experiment is the collection of some outcomes of the experiment. Okay. After seeing all the terms, all the ideas of the terms related to our probability, we can see that how we can define that what is a empirical or experimental probability. So empirical or experimental probability we can define in such a way that let n be the total number of trials. N be the total number of trials. The empirical probability P of E of an event E happening is given by P of E equal to number of trials in which the event happened divided by the total number of trials. P of E equal to number of trials in which the event happened divided by the total number of trials. This is the definition of an empirical probability. Let us understand the definition of empirical probability by using an example. A coin is tossed 1000 times. How many times? 1000 times with the following frequencies. That means a coin is tossed 1000 times shows that a total number of trials is equal to 1000. A coin is tossed 1000 times. What is the meaning of that one? Total number of trials equal to 1000. Now with the following frequency means number of observations only. That means how many times head is coming up or how many times tail is coming up. How many times head got up, the head came up, that is 455 times, but the tail 545 times. Out of 1000 we got 455 times head and 545 times tail. Compute the probability of each event. This is called experiment. This is called trials. Based on this we are going to define find probability this year. This type of the probability is called experimental probability or empirical probability. Now I think you got an idea how it is. We have to conduct trials. Note down total number of trials. What is the total number of times trials here? 1000. In that, what is the result or outcome? Head or tail? Head how many times? 455 times. Tail how many times? 545 times. Now the probability we have to write. Now see the solution, how to write the solutions. I'll explain now. Total number of trials, that means we should add this also, otherwise in question itself it is mentioned. So it is 1000, right? Number of times head come up, that is 455. Tail comes up 545. The empirical probability, how we can define now? The empirical probability P of E of an event E is P of E equal to number of trials in which event happened, or divided by total number of trials. Number of trials in event happened means, let us check the questions. Calculate the probability of each event is the question. Probability of getting a head, the first event. Probability of getting a tail. So probability of getting a head equal to how many times it's favored there. What is the reason? How many times it's favored? That is our numerator. 450 times we got head, divided by total number of trials, that is 1000. Since it is a division by 1000 only, we can easily write the decimal 0.455. Similarly, P of getting a tail, this is our event. So how many trials are favoring to the tail there? 545. So 545 are favoring to the event out of 1000. That is the total number of trials. So what is the answer? 0.545. So this is the answer. If the simplification is possible, you should simplify that one. Final in a reduced form only we should write. Now what is the definition? Says that number of trials in which the event happened divided by total number of trials. Trial is a word is introduced here. Previously in lower class you may be learned that favorable outcome divided by total possible outcome. The same way only favorable, instead of favorable, what we will write? In which the event happened. That is the change. Number of trials in which the event happened divided by total number of trials. So P of getting a head equal to 455 by 1000 equal to 0.455, and tail it is 545 by 1000, it is 0.545. I think you understood the idea of how to write the probability of an event using empirical probability. So with that example, once again if we go through the definitions, you can understand more clearly. What is the definition? N be the total number of trials. The empirical probability P of E of an event E happening is given by P of E equal to number of trials in which the event happened divided by the total number of trials. And thus I think the definition is clear to you. Now one more point, what are the properties or the related to this one? Some concepts are there that you must learn here. That is probability of a sure event. Probability of a sure event equal to 1. Impossible event equal to 0. What is the meaning of probability of the sure event? It is possible to happen only. So when we are saying that probability of getting a number less than 7 while throwing a die, what is the meaning? Question: probability of getting a number less than 7. That means throwing a die case we are taking, right? Die we are taking. Then what is the case? Less than 7. Less than 7 means it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are favoring. So 6 out of 6. All 6 are favoring. It's all 6 are less than 6 only. It is equal to 1. Now the same case, if we are asking probability of getting a number less than 0. less than 0 or less than 1 we can write. That is sufficient for us. Less than 1 any number is possible, nothing is possible, so it is an impossible event, so the answer is 0. So the concept is that the value of the probability is always varies between 0 and 1. Sometimes the value is equal to 0, sometimes the value of equal to 1 only. So what is the conclusion? 0 less than or equal to P of E or equal to less than or equal to 1. The value of the probability is always varies between 0 and 1. Sometimes it is equal to 0, sometimes it is equal to 1. These are the some basic concepts you should know related to probability. With this today's video I am winding up. Thank you.